Okay, it seems we're live. So hello everyone, Oleg and John, thank you for joining, and everyone who watch on YouTube or will watch in the future. Today we have a couple of issues in the agenda where we want to talk about a number of pull requests that I feel I need some insight. And then we had trouble in the past with handling security issues in a proper way. We don't want to do it anymore. So Oleg offers to explain how do we handle security issues, how to handle security issues, the process for plugin maintainers. Anyone who's in the call can ask questions and comments, but please do not talk about specific security issues because this is a publicly available call, and we don't want to reveal those issues.
Just in a case, so I didn't announce it in Twitter, so it's still limited public availability, and we can clean up the recording, but let's be careful with that.
Yeah. So we'll start with security issues, and yeah, Oleg, you can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. So I share my screen. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So unless I mess up something on my own, yeah. Just okay. That was just talking in the channel before that. Okay. So regarding Jenkins security process, the entire process is documented on a single page, which is not surprised, Jenkins.io/security. It's linked from the main Jenkins.io site. So it describes the process in detail for users. So we have advisories, you can subscribe to them, you can receive notifications, etc. And if you're a user and if you discover a security vulnerability, it also explains how to report this vulnerability. Just to be clear, this process applies not only to Jenkins core, but also to all plugins and all sub-projects. So here you may see a list. So it's Blue Ocean, Evergreen, infrastructure, configuration as code, Jenkins X, Jenkins remoting. So from the Jenkins project standpoint, whatever Jenkins flavor you use, you're expected to use this process if you discover a security vulnerability. It's important because if you misreport the issue, it immediately becomes public. So for example, if you submit a security report in GitHub issues, they become public. And moreover, till the last weeks, it was also not possible to remove these issues. So it was even worse. Same for Twitter, same for public Jenkins Jira. So if you just report an issue to the Jenkins project, it becomes public, and some people may see that, they can create exploits, and they may impact not only Jenkins users, but also you particularly, if you misreport that. So you do not want that. And yeah, that's why in Jenkins project we have security project. And when you create discover an issue, please follow this process. So I clicked the button, and now I need to log in. Oops. Yeah, no, I shouldn't open this link because it will probably show the security issues. What I need to do, I just go to the bug tracker then. Okay, here I can click the create button. And on the create button, you see that there are multiple projects. So if you want to report a security issue, you click security. Let's say my task plugin as a security bug, whatever. You don't need to be specific there because all issues are being triaged. So what we ask is to just report issues against this project, and we will fix the rest if it's misreported. So you just describe the issue, and that's it. You click create, and then the security issue is reported. This is what described here. The question from Evelina was, what happens next for plugin maintainers? Current configuration of the Jenkins security project that Of course, maintainers do not have access to security issues by default, because we restrict access to the security team only. But when there is a security issue reported to a particular component, for example, configuration as code plugin, one of the security team members, usually it's Daniel Beck, Jenkins security officer, he reaches out to maintainers, he describes the issues, he assigns them to them so that they are able to see this issue and comment on that. And if needed, we also provide a secure bug tracker, so any maintainer can fix the issue privately, review it with the security team, and then we coordinate the release. What we expect from plugin maintainers is that security releases do not happen in public just to fix security, but they happen in a coordinated way. Why we do that? Because, yeah, as I said, there are many Jenkins users, and we need to prepare the release, we need to prepare the announcement, we need to send the announcement in advance so that Jenkins maintainers are ready to update the instances so that they know that the update is incoming. And that's why we ask all plugin maintainers to follow the process. So, for example, here we had one security release in October. There is a security release incoming today, according to the announcement. But here you may see that there were 2 plugins released, and if you scroll down, you may see that there are many advisories, and some advisories include plugins. And I thought there was one advisory with configuration as code. Yeah, there is advisory for configuration as code dated to June 25th. So there was one of it doesn't work in that way. So if we just scroll down, we may see that there is a configuration as code plugin allowed anyone with overall read access to export Jenkins configuration. So it was a reported defect, it was fixed, and it was announced as a part of advisory, so that anybody who follows that, they receive this notification without looking at whatever change logs, whatever release notes, Gitter, etc. And yeah, this is the process we try to follow. Any questions so far?
No, you answered the question, one of the questions.
Yeah. So yeah, Jenkins security team will reach out to you if there is a security report. And yeah, we ask all people to be as silent as possible about security issues so that we can coordinate releases, especially in the case of important ones. Of course, if your user submits an issue in GitHub or if he reports it in Gitter, you cannot do much about that. But at least we can still follow the process, and in particular cases, it's also expedite the process. We had several cases when the security issues were publicly announced, and we had to expedite deliveries. It didn't happen for long, but yeah, in previous years there were some cases, and yeah, in this case we do not send the advisories in advance, etc. We just release advisory as soon as we get this information. But yeah, in most of the cases we ask to follow the process because it really helps Jenkins users.
So I have one question. So when we release the changelog for the plugin, we should not include the security issues in those.
So how the process happens? As I said, we provide a private repository to fix the security issues. So as a plugin maintainer, you fix security issue in this private repository. Then we stage the release. We use Artifactory, and we can stage the release using one of our repositories. So the release is staged, and it gets released on the date of the security advisory. So we push the release, then we publish the advisory, and after that, the maintainers publish the changelog for this release.
Okay.
And they push the code to public repository. So we ask to not put the code and to not put the changelog until the security advisory is published, because yeah, otherwise it's still a potential way to exploit issues.
Of course. Well, no more questions from me for now.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. If you want to have more control around the process, actually there is a way to join Jenkins security team. As in any other Jenkins team, we need more contributors, and we will appreciate volunteers joining the team. Of course, joining security team requires some background in the Jenkins community, etc. But if you want, it's possible to discuss that. There are some requirements like setting up two-factor authentications and CLA, etc. Nothing really specific. And after that, we can grant you more access so that you can participate in coordination of releases, etc. Otherwise, as a maintainer, you usually interact with one or two contact persons from the security team while preparing and delivering your fix. Okay, that's it with this topic. If there is no more questions, I'll just stop screen sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, Oleg. I will start sharing.
Okay.
So do you have a couple of more minutes, or do you have to?
I'm checking my chat right now. So let's assume that I have some minutes.
Okay, so there is a couple of issues I wanted to like pull requests that I wanted to check with some of you before merging or acting on it. And one of them, 654, you had some comments about, and I'd like to hear a little bit more from you. 654. So there's this feature exporting plugins to POM, and you commented that you like the feature, but you're not sure if it should be part of JCask plugin or separate plugin. So I rely on your opinion a lot when it comes to that kind of stuff. So would you skip merging and suggest Oliver to have it as a separate plugin, or you think having it in JCask is acceptable?
Well, I think that generally it's acceptable. The problem is how many reliance you want to have on external tools. Because what Oliver requests here, there is a custom work packager. A custom work packager is a project started by me, Raul, and several other contributors. So it's a way to package Jenkins, including Jenkins file runner, etc. And what it does here, effectively, it produces input for custom work packager. For me, to be honest, it would rather be a part of the support core plugin, because support core plugin already produces plugins txt for Docker. So there is no reason to not produce POM XML there, I would say so. And yeah, from what I've seen in the code, actually, all the code is not really binded to JCask logic. So it could be easily ported to a separate plugin. And for example, if it's not support core plugin, we could make it a part of custom work packager if needed as well. So yeah, I do not think that it needs to be in configuration as code. I'm waiting for the feedback from Oliver, but yeah, maybe it makes sense to just ping him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Just wanted to get more background from you. It sounds like a nice feature, but not integral part of configuration as code, as I understand. And I mean, I see your point. So whatever you like, not whatever. What you have just said, I will ping him with that comment, and we'll see if there is any follow-up.
Yeah, one of the ways to integrate it with so POM XML export is one story. Another possible option is to export plugins. JCask has a feature to install plugins via Jenkins YAML. And what we could do in an inverse way, we could teach custom work packagers to understand plugin section in this configuration. And it would be possible because we already have several input formats supported, including POM XML. So if Oliver wants, he can just add support of JCask format to custom work packager, and I will accept this pull request.
I think we recommend using plugins.txt, especially when you use Docker solution, because the feature of JCask installing plugins is not working perfectly.
Right, plugins.txt is also fine, but you export plugins section already.
Okay.
And plugins.txt is being exported by support core plugin, so it's also an option for custom work packager input.
Okay. Well, we'll follow up with Oliver then. Then there was another issue that kind of showed the problems of the process we have. Is this configuration as code? Yes. So pull request template. There was a pull request template introduced before without going through pull review process, and not everyone was happy with the template. And so following the suggestions, I reverted it and I created it back as a pull request so we can discuss it. And then a number of people commented the problematic line regarding the funny picture or picture of a funny animal. I don't remember. Anyway, it was meant to be some a joke or something funny, but people are against it or have no strong opinion about it. So I think in general, if we collect all the issues, all the comments, it would mean we will have to skip the last line. So I will update the pull request template to not contain the last line. And then there was also a comment from Liam that maybe we could have checkboxes. And I mean, it looks nice, but it's what my first thought was, so people will just check the checkbox and we don't really check if the description of the change made was provided. I think we don't have to complicate it, and in my opinion, we can skip to the first version, which is just text, and we'll just adapt it so we don't have the line that was problematic.
Yeah, we use checkboxes in Jenkins core pull request templates. I have no strong opinion about that. It kind of works.
Okay.
Some people tend to click on checkboxes, as you said. Some people just tend to delete template and ignore it at all. Unfortunately, there is no way to prevent that. Well, we could configure pull request builder to prevent that, but we don't. So yeah, I think it's just as you wish. Checkbox just saves some place, because when you open pull request use multiple headers, the additional edit box is bigger. But yeah, it's a minor comment.
Okay, yeah, I will have a look. I mean, it's not complicated technically, so yeah. But so anyway, that's the decision. We will remove the last line. You're still allowed to put a picture of a funny animal if you want to, but yeah, that one will be gone. And there was one.
If I remember correctly, the default template or example template from GitHub.com actually includes the funny picture part. So I think it's just basically a copy paste from there.
Okay.
I personally don't care that much about it because I suck at finding funny animals, but and as it's been said, that they're basically just a filler. But hey, storage is almost free.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think many of us are okay with that. Some of us find it funny, but some of us are not happy with it, and I guess removing that won't hurt anyone. That's my way of dealing with it.
Just to clarify my feedback, so my main concern was that it was pushed without pull request review and just a direct push. So it's the main source of my frustration. Yes, I do not like these funny images in pull request templates, but it's, if others vote for that, I'm fine. If no, I prefer not to have that.
Yeah. So the summary is more like, we have the comments. You're fine with it, except the last line. John said that he doesn't care. Then I don't know the name of X10A and 14, but he supports your comments, and so that's all the feedback I got. And then there is Joseph. Was that you, right? Commenting.
You remember the big Norwegian from Nice?
Oh, that's okay.
That's X10.
Anyway, so I guess most of us are okay, but not needed. And
remove the last line. If they actually want it, they can add it. Yeah.
Then that's the decision. Now we follow the process. So I hope that we like everyone will be satisfied. And then there was one more issue that I think okay, 656. I mean, there's more pull requests, but those are the ones that I wanted to hear some comment. And I think again it was you, Oleg, that commented that it may be breaking change in that's Daniel. So Daniel commented that I think it should not be breaking change. And did you have a chance to look at it and ask?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I received too many notifications.
No, that's perfectly okay, and you don't have to, address it now. I just wanted to, get your attention whenever it's available.
I'm just looking at the tests right now. So if it's binary, now it. Okay, so now there is a comparison, which should. Let me check. I checked. Probably I missed it in the original review. I checked the GitHub, by the way. I haven't seen any conflicting uppercase, lowercase. But one of the things we really know and which impacts the Jenkins users is that JCask doesn't fetch symbols by class. So we have a more general issue with JCask that plugin developers cannot create conflicting symbols in their plugins. And this is not how the symbol ecosystem is designed. So with regarding this pull request, I definitely approve that. My concern is about architecture in general. We should do something about that because, I had a discussion with yet another Docker plugin maintainer recently. He is concerned about that because there are issues coming to his plugin, and effectively he cannot do anything about that because he follows the development guidelines, and there is no much workaround for that for the plugin developers.
Okay, did we have an issue about it already? No.
Maybe there is an issue. I'm not sure. Maybe it's submitted in the Jenkins Jira.
Yeah, because I remember something about symbols, but no. Okay, but so we need what you have just described. We need it as an issue, and so this will have to show up. Would it be okay for you, Oleg, to just put it in words, what in GitHub issues, what you just said, or do you want me to?
Okay, I'll double check. So if there is Jenkins Jira for that,
then we can just reverse.
Yeah, because Jenkins Jira should be official for the project. But let's see. I can live with GitHub issues as well. Okay, I'll check it. Symbol conflict. Okay, done. Oh, you want me to put in notes?
Yeah, sorry. I just want a link somewhere, and then it will be.
Yeah, I just had it to do on the paper. I'm a bit old style. Just a second. I'll just add an action item for me.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I'm the person eavesdropping. Ben Creasy. I'm JCR Ben in the Gitter channel. I don't have much to say though, but thanks for building this plugin. It's awesome.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Let's find.
I mean, I do have questions a little bit about the future of jobs configuration, but I know you guys have like a bunch of stuff in your backlog. You have that chicken and egg thing, but in general, job DSL is the way to go, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not planning to provide some separate tool for that.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Yep.
So yeah, that's it for now. And yeah, so my focus currently is to make plugins I find not being compliant with configuration as code compliant. So that's it. But then we like there is an interesting pull request, I think, as a build pipeline step for Cask plugin. And I haven't had a chance to have a look at it. Daniel said it's considered a work in progress, but that the simple functionality is tested. So I guess I will follow up, checking if he's planning to develop it further, or this is it, and we can take it from there.
Oh, are you talking? Sorry, you were talking about Job DSL, Daniel, the maintainer of Job DSL.
I'm talking about Daniel Garzon. I don't know.
Different Daniel.
Yeah,
okay.
a different Daniel, I assume. No, it's a pipeline build step for Cask plugin, and it addresses so the
I think I see what you mean.
Okay, yeah. So it can automatically reload the configuration if the change happens. So that's interesting.
Yeah, nice.
In the future, there are also some plugin prototypes. For example, pipeline as YAML. So there was a JSOC project to create pipeline configurations as YAML, and once it's done, it can be initially integrated into configuration as code by offering a configurator in that plugin.
Right. Right.
So in the future, there may be even more ways to get it configured.
Without using Job DSL and kind of having to do these configure blocks and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've got that chicken and egg problem, but does that pose problems for production, you think?
It does.
It does, okay.
So chicken and egg problem, it needs core patches to resolve it. And core patches, somebody has to do them.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. But if I just have a master instance that's up for a while, I don't have to worry about it as much, right? If it's already been brought up.
So just to explain the main problem, the JCask initialization may happen in parallel with job loading, and you never know at which point of JCask initialization job loading happens, because it's just a parallel graph, and depending on some conditions, the execution order may be different. So, for example, JCask may initialize some plugins after jobs requiring these plugins are being loaded. And in some cases, some hooks, some unloaded handles in job implementations may behave incorrectly. And,
but I mean, in like a simpler case where you're just like, you're just using Job DSL to get some pipelines configured, you know, then you're running those pipelines. It shouldn't matter as much.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter much unless pipeline plugins rely on some Jenkins initialization behavior.
Yeah,
as far as I know, the only reliance right now is continuation of pipeline execution.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure how it would behave in parallel with JCask.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I like this. I'm glad you guys do these talks in public, and you know, the whole community thing is really cool. So, yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, feel free to join.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm mostly a front end developer. I'm just trying to get our CI system under control. Yeah.
If you know,
I guess that's what we're all trying to do: get some CI systems under control. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's worth mentioning that there is a lot of things like that happening in Jenkins community, not only around Jenkins configuration as code plugin. There is a lot of groups that have public meetings where you can discuss issues. So, you know, just to let you know that it's not only us.
Yeah. I think Job DSL is sadly kind of quiet, so you know that one could use like more public group meetings and stuff. But I don't know Java nearly well enough to really do much. I do drop into a Java debugger sometimes and try to understand Jenkins, but it's not easy. It's pretty much going from nothing to, you know, a speed racer. Like, you know, that Jenkins is heavy, it's deep. Java, you know.
Speaking of job DSL publicity, maybe we could just invite Dan Spelker. Sorry if I pronounced the name incorrectly. We could invite him to one of the next meetings and maybe talk about job DSL specifically. Why not?
Yeah, because there are some questions regarding job DSL on Gitter. So yeah, that's
of course. Those are, keep in mind, those are my questions. Yeah. I think it's a good thing because it's just such a. It seems like it actually is pretty core to JCask in the long run, you know, because everybody wants to configure jobs, you know, via version control as well, right?
Yeah.
And that's the only way to do it, really, is job DSL.
You still have Groovy hooks.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what those are, but
okay. Yeah, it's
Groovy. Yeah, you can do the Groovy hook. So
it's that's my own holy war. Sorry.
That's probably a standard way to do it, right? Yeah. Is those Groovy init hooks?
Mm-hmm.
It's the most common way.
Well, I would say that now it's recommended to use JCask, but JCask combines well with Groovy hooks. My approach, for example, is I use JCask where I can, and for plugins which are still not supported or for dynamic logic, I use Groovy hooks.
Okay, and you don't use job DSL as much?
I don't, because I use Groovy hooks to automate loading logic of pipelines. If you want, I can show some of this logic maybe right now, or maybe can send you a link.
Yeah, maybe it's okay. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but yeah, thanks for you can drop a link into the Gitter channel or something maybe. But yeah, that helps. I mean, I've messed around a little bit with the Groovy hook, but I ended up, you know, just first try and then I gave up. So maybe I'll try that again. Cool.
Okay. So
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna drop off actually. Yeah, thanks for talking to me and have a good day.
Thanks for joining.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so well, that's all I had in my agenda. The pull request I wanted to comment and the security issue things. I told you what I'm planning to work on in the upcoming weeks, and we still have time. I don't know how about you, but theoretically we still have time. So, is there anything any of you would like to talk about now?
Nothing specific from me. Yep. So one heads up from me that I will be likely unavailable on a consistent basis for the next several months, and yeah, Evelina knows the reason. So yeah, regarding video broadcasts and other such things, probably it's time to unbottleneck me. So if you could get permissions, Evelina, it would be really cool.
Is this something I should take up with Liam?
Yeah, you can discuss it with Liam, but my recommendation would be to just get YouTube permissions on your own so that you don't depend on us.
Mm-hmm.
Because for Liam, 8 a.m. UTC, he's based in the Bay Area. Oh no, he's based in Seattle, but still, it's
no. I mean, sorry. When I asked if I should talk to Liam, it was about getting permission.
Yeah, right.
So who should I contact to get the permission? I mean, I can of course do Hangout on air on my own, but I mean, I don't have my own channel.
Have you already signed CLA?
Yeah, we talked about it, but I never got to the point. How should I should I get it and sign it?
Okay, I can show it again if it helps.
Yeah.
Okay, just a second. Finally, I'm not needed, so it should be fine. Okay, I made myself a presenter. Okay. So to get Jenkins permission to YouTube, right now we do not have formal process, and I believe it's something you hit. We have some agreements about the process. So there is a repository for CLA. Let me find it. It's either in infra. No, it's in the Jenkins. Sorry. Okay, infra CLA. This is a repository where you need to submit your pull request. So there is a process described in this repository.
Okay.
And what this contributor license agreement actually helps us to track who can get advanced permissions within Jenkins organization. We request all security team members, all people with Jenkins core merge permissions, and all people with infrastructure to sign this CLA. The process is described here, but generally you prepare PDF, encrypt it properly, and send it via pull request. Here's a number of such pull requests, I believe. Yeah. And yeah, you just create one on your own. Then Tyler will integrate these permissions. I believe it has to be reviewed by somebody from Jenkins board. Now it's either Tyler or KK. Usually it's Tyler. Then it gets integrated, and we have collected CLAs there. So it's ICLA, Individual Contributor License Agreement. So there is a bunch of people here, likely there is me as well. He is me. So there is some committer properties. So you may see that we store email, we store GitHub ID. Don't ask about GDPR, please. But yeah, that's how it works now. And the same for CCLA. So CCLA is something for companies. And some companies may opt in and sign a CCLA if they want, but yeah, it's totally up to the companies. What we need for infrastructure is individual contributor license agreement. So even if you work for a particular company, we need ICLA from you.
Yes, of course. And then once it's approved and merged, I should be able to publish Hangout on there, like created on.
You will still need to create a pull infrastructure request to get permissions, but I can grant permissions on my own, I believe, and Liam can grant permissions, Tyler can grant permissions. So there is a bunch of people. You just come, for example, to the community channel, ask here or send a message to the infrastructure mailing list, and you can get these permissions.
Okay, but the individual CLA is the first step.
Yeah, individual CLA is a must-have.
Okay. Thank you for explaining. So I'm going to take care of that, and then I should be able to handle the recordings and publishing on my own.
Okay. Yeah, it will just help you because yeah, sometimes you may want to set up recording ad hoc. For example, to do a knowledge transfer, etc. And with access to YouTube, you will be just able to start the broadcast immediately so that it gets recorded. You don't need to ask anyone. And same for meetings, whatever ad hoc discussion, it makes sense to record it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not from me.
Nope.
Okay, so thank you for joining. Thank you, Oleg, for handling the recording today. And well, talk to you when it's needed. Hopefully, at least some of you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's nice to maintain regular meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it makes sense to revisit the discussion about the time slot.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to revisit it when I suggested the retrospective, but I guess it wasn't the right time. So, and I don't think just before Christmas is also the right time. So we may maybe try to fix it at the beginning of next year. I think we have some contributor from States, so maybe we can adapt to for them. Okay. So thank you. Have a nice day, and talk to you.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.